Welcome, students. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite hobbies, and I'm going to discuss 5 common birds. And one of my favorite hobbies is bird watching. I like bird watching because you can do it anywhere you go. You can be at home and bird watch. You can be out and about throughout your day bird watching. You can go to a specific place like a park or campground or the mountains and look for specific birds too. Over the holidays, I even participated in the Christmas bird count. So I went to 5 different parks and collected information on all the birds that I saw. Isn't that kind of cool? You can do it too. Alright, today I'm going to talk to you about 5 pretty common birds that we have in our area. I'm going to start off with the smallest of those birds, and I'm pretty sure all of you have seen, at least from time to time, a hummingbird. So this little guy here is called the Anna's hummingbird. And the Anna's hummingbird is very small. They're only about 4 inches big, so they're a little tiny bird. But one of the ways you can tell a hummingbird apart from other birds is this long, slender beak. And the long, slender beak is used for sucking up nectar from flowers and hummingbird feeders. The male has vibrant red color around his neck and head. And the female, she's quite plain. But sometimes it's important that they don't stand out, because if she's on a nest, you don't want her to stand out and be seen. So that's why the females sometimes will have a duller color than the showy males. The next bird that's very common in our area is the house finch. And the house finch, I think all of you have probably seen one in your own backyard or in the park, and they have a little bit of a rose color around their neck and head, and the females, they're plainer color. The beak is very different than the hummingbird. Do you notice how thick that beak is and heavy? That's because they're using their beaks for eating nuts and seeds and fruit. So they need a stronger beak to be able to break through those. And this bird is just a little bit bigger than the hummingbird. Hummingbirds are about 4 inches. These guys are about 7, maybe going up to 9 inches. So it's a small bird. The next bird is one of the most common birds in our area, and they like to be in a group. Interesting, but do you know what a group of crows is called? It's a very interesting name. It's called the murder of crows. Now, I don't know why it's called that, but I just find that pretty interesting that that's what it's called. Now, you'll notice that there isn't a small picture like these two had the small pictures right above. And that's because the male and female crows look the same. You can't really tell the difference. They're usually a dark brown or black color, and they have a heavy beak. Now, crows get to be up to about 40 inches. Crows like to eat just about anything. They'll eat eggs, small animals, insects, seeds, fruit, nuts, and they're a very smart bird. They've done a variety of tests on American crows, and they remember faces, they remember vehicles, and they're just a really, really smart bird. If you Google crows and test, you'll see a whole variety of tests that they do on crows, and it just shows you how smart the crow is. One of my favorites. All right, most people don't seem to think that this bird is a very attractive bird, but I have to say I really do find this bird to be a very attractive bird, and this very fascinating bird. This bird is called the turkey vulture. They're a big, big bird, 70 inches wingspan. Is huge. That's a big bird. Usually you'll find them soaring in the sky. That means flying in the sky in big groups of like up to 20, sometimes smaller groups, but oftentimes it's large group. And okay, so this bird eats carcasses, and you know, there's really not a nice way to say it, but you know what? It's called just whatever they roadkill. If they see a carcass in the street or on the fields of small mammals and stuff, they will go ahead and eat it. And that's the reason why you'll notice this bird here has no feathers on his head. And that's to keep his head clean as they go into the carcass and eat. We all have to eat, right? So it's not an ugly thing. It's just part of nature. But one of my favorite birds. Okay, and then here we have the bald eagle. Again, the eagle and male and female look the same when they're adults. You can't tell the difference between them. There is a way to tell, but it's very hard unless they're side by side. I've only been able to tell the difference a couple times. The female is significantly larger than the male. Bald eagles will get to be about 80-inch wingspans, and that's a big bird. We do have them in this area. I have seen them, guys. So if you see a bird and it has a white head, more than likely you're looking at the bald eagle. Bald eagles like to eat small mammals and fish. They're great fishermen. So anytime there's a lake nearby, more than often you'll be surprised how many eagles are in the area. So anyway, so that's just a few of the birds, and I just wanted to touch base on a couple of them today. And if it's something that you like to do, is looking at birds and learning about them, there's a variety of ways to learn about birds. I have a couple pamphlets. Here's one that's called Birds of Prey, and then California birds, and then there's different books, and there's even apps. One app that I recommend, that if you're interested in birds that you get, it's called Merlin Bird app. That's how I really got started. And you just enter the information about the bird, where you see it, you just fill it out, the colors, because that's usually the best way to identify a bird. Enter the colors, and then it will show you a variety of birds, and then you click on the one that you've seen, so you identify and you learn how to do it. Anyways, I have had fun with you guys as usual, and next time I'll go over a couple different birds. Hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope you keep your eyes peeled up in the sky for birds.